I've been very honored to have as my representative of Congress many great people, Philip Burton, Sala Burton, and myself. But the one that I am proudest of, who will go down in history not as the first woman Speaker of the House, but the greatest Speaker of the House of Representatives, I give you Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you, California Democrats. Thank you, California Democrats, for taking action for victory in November 2010. My friends, there are many reasons why I am truly happy to be with you at this convention. Two of those reasons are historic. Some of you have read in the history books. A few of you were there. Nearly 50 years ago, in this great city of Los Angeles, a young, inspirational leader, John F. Kennedy, called on Democrats to be pioneers in his new frontier. Like millions of Americans, I was inspired by John F. Kennedy's vision and optimist. Like a few of us in this room, Joe Wyatt, for one, Roz Wyman, another, Jane Harmon, a few others, we had the privilege of being at that Democratic convention. Jane and I as students, Roz and Joe as young Democrats. And we heard President Kennedy issue his call. He said on that day, and remember it was at the stadium, "I believe these times demand new invention, innovation, imagination, and decision." Today, nearly 50 years later, and under the leadership of another young, inspiring president, Barack Obama, Democrats are once again taking the country in a new direction and building a new prosperity for all. Central to that new direction is providing quality, affordable health care for all Americans. Today, we celebrate that historic achievement. Imagine others before us, as you saw in the film, passed Social Security and Medicare. Today, we have established health care for all Americans as a right, not as a privilege. That is reason to celebrate. We did this, heeding President Kennedy's words, using invention, innovation, imagination, and decision. Another great Kennedy, Senator Ted Kennedy, called health care reform the great unfinished business of our society. And it had been until now. Until now. Up until now, we had to fight the special interests who had limited resources working against us. But we had you. We drew strength from the overwhelming support of consumers, healthcare providers, community leaders, faith-based organizations, and our friends in the labor movement for whom this has been a priority for decades. Most of all, we received strength from you and the millions of Americans who shared their stories. You heard some of them in the healthcare film. When I was on the campaign trail, I met a man in Michigan. He told me of his story. He'd been married for many years, and his wife had been sick, bedridden for 16 years. He said, I don't know how I'm going to be able to continue to pay the medical bills. I'm afraid I'm going to not be able to do it, and in fact, I may even lose my home. I'm embarrassed to tell my children that I need help. They have their own financial challenges as well. Well, we have come to the rescue with this health care reform bill. That gentleman, our answer to him is this health care reform for all. Never again will he have to worry about limits on the benefits that his wife receives. You heard the story of an 8-year-old boy who had a stroke, thrown off his parents' health insurance, a pre-existing medical condition for the rest of his life until now. And now he will never be denied coverage because he has a pre-existing medical condition. And you heard the sad story I read of a mother whose young daughter died in January of this year, graduated from college last year, thrown off her father's insurance policy because she had graduated from school, unable to find a job that had health insurance and even a job that helped her cover her medical expenses for insulin. When she started cutting back, eliminating the evening dosage, she died. Now we say to young people, whether you go to college or not, you can be on your parents' policy until you are 26 years old. We give you a chance. When that happened, we were able to have the strength to do this and make the decisions necessary because millions of families turn their personal tragedies into political action. We read those letters. We heard the stories. We were sustained by your courage. In the Declaration of Independence, this is a direct line to our founders. In the Declaration of Independence, our founding fathers wrote that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We believe that health insurance reform honors these vows of our founders. Health care reform is about healthier lives. It gives people healthier lives. It gives them the liberty to pursue their hopes, their dreams, the pursuit of happiness. There is reason to celebrate because health care reform, now let's review this. I know we've heard this from others today, but it bears repeating. Reason to celebrate because this health care reform bill, under it, we insure 32 million more Americans. We end insurance company discrimination based on pre-existing conditions. We close the donut hole. For you younger folks, it might not be as important, but for those of us of a certain age, we close the donut hole for seniors, strengthen Medicare, and improve health care for America's seniors. We create a healthier America through prevention, wellness, and innovation. And we create 4 million new jobs, hundreds of thousands of them very soon. This is a job-creating bill. And it's important to say over and over again that health care reform is entitlement reform. This legislation saves the taxpayer $1.3 trillion. $1.3 trillion. And yes, thanks to this new law, being a woman in America is no longer a pre-existing medical condition. And I'm pleased to celebrate